I see myself as somebody who has, if you like, been set on a mission to make people aware of the issues, and I'm not going to tell people you should be this or you should be that. I just want people to be told the truth. The main thing was, that got me stirred up, was Bodmin Town Council putting on a history show for children about 3 years ago. And I took my kids in there for a look around. And knowing a little bit about Cornish history, I knew that there were certain things missing from the history show. And it was quite easy to work out what things were missing. And it was the recorded events that show the Anglo-Saxon stroke English in a bad light. So you had Athelstan portrayed as some worthy benefactor of Bodmin, when in actual fact he was a recognised ethnic cleanser and enslaver. William of Malmesbury got him down as cleansing Exeter of that filthy race, as the Cornish. That's a famous quote, removed from the history of Athelstan. My sons never come home and discuss any hard hitting Cornish angle, the reasons why the language really declined, the reasons why Cornwall's now called a county when it was a duchy. Duchy history's never discussed. Cornish battles v English, never discussed. The reason for the mass emigrations, never discussed. Starvations, the reason for the Church of England coming here, never discussed. All they get is monarchy adulation, glorious English past, wonderful things the English have done throughout the world. You know, they're given the history and roots of another people. In a legal sense, it's a duchy that evolved from an earldom, that evolved from a kingdom. Now, when you write to government and say, look, why won't you recognise this constitutional relationship between Cornwall and England, they refuse to enter into dialogue. And yet it's an established fact. The duchy charters are there. The foreshore case of 1855 to 58 produced a situation where the duchy itself wrote its own history that said Cornwall is not a part of England. This is the Attorney General for Cornwall, Sir George Harrison, saying to the Crown, who were trying to impinge on duchy constitutional rights, and that was to claim the foreshore Cornwall, saying that Cornwall always has been, right up to the present day, separate from England. The charter, the various charters that were drawn up, actually said that the Cornish are subjects of the Duke, they owe full allegiance to the Duke, everything in Cornwall is owned by the Duke, the land, the minerals, the seabeds, the trees, everything underground is owned by the Duke. The Cornish own nothing. Anything that comes out of the ground is owned by the Duke. The Cornish will live on a subsistence wage. Everything above a subsistence wage is the Duke's and will be sent to London. So this went on for 650 years. Huge sums of money left Cornwall. Billions and billions. Immense. Cornwall, even prior to the formation and establishment of the duchy, was like a Brunei. Like a mini Brunei. Brunei's about the same size as Cornwall today. And all the profits and great wealth of Cornwall went to one man and one family. And this is why that family today own castles like Sandringham and Balmoral and all the other. I mean, Prince Charles has just bought his latest house on Duchy of Cornwall money. So these vast sums that are now invested in art and land and property and industrial conglomerates have all come off the backs of Cornish people over the centuries. Now I think it's time we had a look at this to see where this money's gone, to see if we can recover some of this money for Cornwall's benefit. We desperately need a university. We need investment in infrastructure. We need proper jobs here for Cornish people, not tourist jobs. English heritage are coming under the cosh lately because there's a number of us in Cornwall who are directing our attention to the activities of English heritage. Specifically their misrepresentation of Cornish heritage sites as English. One example would be Tyskennow Castle. The remains that are there now visible were built by French-speaking Normans to oversee the repression of Celtic-speaking Cornish people. There's no English element to it whatsoever. English heritage are a state arm of propaganda. They produced a book called British Battles in 1997, HarperCollins. In it, it's supposed to portray 1,000 years of British battles. So it gives you all the British battles that were fought on British soil, and in there you will find battles between Normans and Saxons and Vikings and Saxons, and you'll find the Wars of the Roses and battles between Scots and English and the Civil War, Roundheads, all the usual sort of stuff. But the battles between the Cornish and the English are removed, deliberately removed. You thumb through the pages and they're all in chronological order, and where 1497 should be, for instance, or where 1549 should be, nothing. Now you see, these are some of the biggest battles to ever take place on British soil. Battles where, almost on a Napoleonic scale, where like 40,000 soldiers took the field, thousands of people dead. You got skirmishes in that book where only a couple of dozen died, but you've got these huge battles. Now in 1497, the English fielded an army greater than that which was deployed to defeat the whole of France at Agincourt. And yet these great battles are removed. Now, what the hell is going on? Because all the papers, like the Morning News, West Britain, Cornish Guardian, and Cornishman, they're all owned by one concern, and that's Associated Newspapers, who actually own the Daily Mail. Now, the Daily Mail is a hard-line, right-wing newspaper. It's a fanatical, anti-European, pro-English nationalist mouthpiece. People don't realise it, but when they read these papers, they're not reading news. They're reading interpretations of news. And the Cornish Guardian and the West Britain and that follow suit. So all you get in there is unquestioning monarchy adulation. You get, especially in the Cornish Guardian, you get the people like me, other people who question the status quo. You get ridicule, you get abuse, you get racial stereotyping. The Cornish Guardian the other day took great pleasure in saying that the Cornish accent is the most derided in Britain. It's anybody who's got a Cornish accent is seen as thick. Nobody wants to be associated with a Cornish accent. They have pleasure in passing this on. A lot of Cornish people and incomers have got this feeling that Cornwall's a little bit different, but they just can't quite put their finger on it. And they can't put their finger on it because the reasons for these differences have been removed from the common pool of knowledge, deliberately. So there's a lot of people in Cornwall, and you get a lot of people writing in newspapers and that, stating this and stating that Cornwall's been a shire for 1,000 years. And really they don't know the facts. They're basing it on interpretations of Cornish history. But when you get back to root sources, you find that a lot of these assumptions and assertions are false. Cornish people want to be part of Europe, they want to be part of the big scheme. They see themselves as Cornish, British and European. They see themselves as having a diversity of culture and a separate history that's worthy of preserving. It's a legal obligation on the part of the United Kingdom government to recognise our position, our constitutional position, our indigenous heritage, our cultural heritage, our built heritage. It's a duty and a legal requirement under European law for the United Kingdom government to preserve this and to fund it. So it's got nothing to do with being against upcountry people and for Cornish people. It's about giving people that live here full access to the heritage and culture that is here, but is kept suppressed and kept deliberately suppressed. They love it. They move here because Cornwall is different. They want to immerse themselves into that difference.
Yeah.
They don't want it to be like an English county. I remember going to a Cornish festival over at Perranporth a couple of years ago, and me and my partner, we went for breakfast early in the morning, and we had the choice of two establishments. One of them was owned by a Cornish crowd in Perranporth, and they had outside the door full English breakfast. So I went in, sat down, well, it's only one there, we'll have to give it a go. The service was so bad, I didn't bother. So we left. We went around the corner, and there's a cafe open, Cornish flag outside. So I said to Mrs. Well, we'll have to go in here, have breakfast in here. Went in, and on the menu was a Cornish breakfast. Oggs, pudding, all this jazz, you know. So we thought, Christ almighty, this is unbelievable. Anyway, get talking to the woman. She just moved down that season from upcountry. She had just moved down to Perranporth, took over this cafe, stuck a Cornish flag outside, laid on a Cornish breakfast. And that, to me, sums it up. The Cornish, a lot of them want to shun their roots because it's been disparaged and ridiculed. And the English people that move in, they've heard so much about Cornwall, they want to immerse themselves into it and be part of it.
Get something to eat. No.
It's set the atmosphere. So what's your friend's, your new friend's name, Marion?
By forcing the Book of English Common Prayer upon the Cornish people, they successfully killed the Cornish language. It is very much like you going home tonight, switching on your television, and suddenly all the programs are in Norwegian. You don't understand it. Tomorrow morning, you've got to start learning pretty quick.
We had not planned this.
The ages who hurry this process up.
Maybe I can get a job as a flag planter.
Get a shop door as a flag shop.
Here, that's our son.
At Pobl of Kernow, if on the Oma the birthy cove I'd in yea. Hemo Grizz, Dre Brads, Gans, and governance Sosnek, Gans mercenaries, Almoinek, Italiek, Akembrek, Everik, Lather, August, Pimp, Mule, Kernow. Ninzas Koth, Ninzas Kova, and Bananas and Flayers of Waza, Arik Merwell, Dre Votter, Wozbos, and Balio, and Piscopium, I can Bargenio Tier. Gezis hepdain vith. Rag a fi yn Prysonic, efes a fi oma, the birthy call, all and tea syring furwell. Ik a miss do now cad dain, prisoner anarphus a lathus in degmanism. Ik a miss di ma August meal day, o fia the Walasan hat, levis. Ac in weth meal day, o levis. Cregis, gan Sir Anthony Kingston in Kernow and Mosa. O Warbarth, Nintus Ger in Yaith Kernewek, Nintus Ger in Yaith Southwick Raghema. And Holocaust Kernewek, Holocaust and Holocaust Kernewek. Oggy, oggy! 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 Oggy, oggy, oggy! Proper job, me handsome!
There was this vicar, and in his congregation was a husband and wife, and they came to church every Sunday. Well, they weren't there for 2 or 3 weeks, so when the vicar was out on his rounds, he knocked on the door. So he said, Mrs. Smith, he said, you haven't been to church recently? No, vicar, she said, we've given up the faith. She said, we've been trying for a baby for 2 years and nothing have happened. Now you come say about that, he said, my chickens have stopped laying. So a few months later, he was out round on his rounds and he heard a baby cry. So he went up and knocked on the door. Mrs. Smith, he said, is that a baby I'm here crying? Yes, vicar, she said, we got a baby bouncing boy. And my chickens have started to lay, he said. Oh, well, what did you do, and vicar? So he said, I changed the cock. And she said, yes, and so did I.
Oh, I always think that's the best one you've ever said. She tells me he's on the way going up from bingo, on the Tuesday mostly.
And there was that other one that Melville told me
He's still
Friday
laughing.
night. This year man went to the doctors with sunburn. So he said, he said, what's the matter, Bill? So he said, I got sunburnt, doctor. He said, that's all right. He said, I'll give you some tablets for that. So he said, what are they called? He said, they're called Viagra. He said, what do I want Viagra for? Well, he said, it's something for you to keep the sheets up off your sunburnt. There was this here priest, and he was in the confession box one day, and a woman came in. So she said, Father, she said, I've committed adultery. So she told him what she'd done. So Father said, that's all right, my child, you've told me, God bless you. She put £5 in the box. Another one come in, Father, I've committed 2 sins. So she told him what she'd done. God bless you, my child, you're all right. She went out. Father was then going to get up to come out. Another one come in. Father, I've done this and I've done that. God bless you, my child, you're all right, you're free to go. She was going to put some money in the box. He said, no, my dear, he said, there's 3 for a fiver this week.
Oh, how does she remember him?
I was trying to think of that other one about the Viagra. I was trying to think of that one.
Syl y brys i thes y men, hag I men na I thes y tol. Na, nyn yw hen y gwe poran. Syl y brys I thes y tol, hag all yn dro yn tol I thes y men. Hem yw yn men hag yn tol, ha rib yn tol hag yn men a drif priv.
Does that papoony?
Dip da Conan, dip da priv, dip da papoony. Conan ha priv, dip da Conan, dip da Conan, dip da priv, dip da papoony. Conan ha priv, on a down tree, on a
Does that priv? 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 Does that Conan? Oh, Dara's terrace.
Jog you gen priv. Pith you hemmer.
Tyskennow Kernow. Hoodle. Onnen, dow, tree, lamb.
Onnen, dow, tree, lamb. Hoodle.
Dydd da priv,
Does that isn't hem u Conan?
dydd da conin,
This diethen.
Pith u hammer.
boton yw,
Button.
boton.
Pithu button.
Near a gofyn wrth yn gwenyn. Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Buzz, buzz, buzz. Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Hom yw moes vihen. Lowen yw hi, dor a fen and hold the splanner. A toma and gwins. And voes vihen yw yein. A toma and glaw. Glib yw and voes vihen. Lemon trist yw hi. Res yw ddeddi gwisga cota. Here a sigh on whisker in I hotter, mes ray winsec ew. Here a sigh in fen, mes enna and gwins, a rai whither the vers arter. Here a sigh arter, August gris, enna here faster and betonio a sins and cotta de gers, I heddi a whither the vers. A rate a gwellis?
Miraz idden.
Miraz braz ithen.
Miraz gwenin.
Miraz braz gwenin.
Dugenis idden. Dugenis gwenin.
Dugenis ithen. Dugenis gwenin.
Dugenis conin. Dugenis priv.
Onnen, dow, tree, lamb.
Onnen, dow, tree, lamb. Priv. Daras knoweth.
Miraz braz conin. Pris Tay.
Du gennes priv.
Du gennes Conan.
Dip da Conan, dip da priv, dip da poonie. Conan ha priv, Conan ha priv, dip da Conan, dip da Conan, dip da priv, dip da priv, dip da poonie. Conan ha priv, Conan ha priv, on a down tree, on a down tree, lamb, on a down tree, lamb.
My name is Nick Boynes. I am 15 and have been growing up on the farm all my life. High Aberstrace Farm is situated outside the village St Just in Penwith, Cornwall. Being brought up in Cornwall means a lot to me. I feel that living in this area has had a special effect on me and has made me realise how lucky I am to live in such a peaceful place. But unfortunately, the economics of agriculture means that I won't be able to work the farm full time. The farm has been in the family for 4 generations. My great-granddad brought it in 1938. Over the years, the farm has changed from dairy cows and crops to beef cattle in a livery yard. We have 18 horses here, but only one of them are our own. We have 17 here who are on a DIY livery, do it yourself. Livery means other people bring their own horses to our land and keep them here if they don't have their own land to keep them on. So it acts as it's like a big hotel really. My granddad, Eric Boynes, has lived here all his life and has been farming here since he was 14 years old. Back then there was no electricity or water. Being a kid you're isolated really. I mean, there are things to do, but once you start growing up, you want to explore more. But there's not much to explore in Cornwall. It's very isolated. You feel like you're enclosed, but still, it's a beautiful place to live. So, not many job opportunities. I've been looking around. I can't find many. But hopefully there'll be more opportunities around in the future.
And do you reckon that you'll move away?
I wouldn't say move away forever. I'd definitely go travelling. But as I said before, here's my home. I would like to stay here, but just not many opportunities around.
And what's your earliest memory then when you were little?
I think it's falling off the fence. Sitting on the fence and falling off. Favourite bit of the farm? All of it really. I don't really have a favourite bit, it's all special to me. I've been here all my life, it's home really. I just love it so much, especially on a nice day like this, sunny. Horses are out, chickens are out, and wildlife around. And I don't get bored either, there's always something to do. I hope the farm will be in the family for years to come. I don't plan to get rid of it. It's a privilege to live in such a beautiful area.
I suppose you were quite sorry to leave the farm, were you? Or?
Oh yes, that's right, yes, that's right. After been there 39 years, you know, it was quite a wrench, really. I used to dream about it for ages, you know.
Did you? Do you ever go back?
I've gone through a time or two, but not for many years, no. Well, I don't be funny, but it's in the same.
No.
It's in the same, no. To Nance, down to Nance, just really to Maine, he had 19 to 21 days ration down there. I suppose with Rutherford they'd have 3 or 4 days ration. In Efflins and Ed was in, we'd have 3.5 to 4 days. And we'd have 5 days for certain, and on a very good year it might be 6.
That's amazing that you remember each one would have.
And then Jack Andrew, you'd have 3 or 4 days ration too. So.
How many men would be working on it?
Well, you'd have 3 men on would go on the set to be the driver, and then the second man, and then the third man as well. But for the 2 days ration, you want 11 or 12 men, because you'd have, before the baler come in, because you would have bundles all go through, see, and then you would have to have man on the bundles, then to the rick, 2 men on the store rick, of course, 2 on the corn, and if you had to bring it in from a field, you have to have 3, and 1 rick in the douse, and 1 cutting bines, 2 pitching. So it was 11 or 12 for certain then, you know. See, there were some slingers going around. You would, if you was going thrash, you'd go to where there's thrashing too and pick them up from there, and tell them, can you come along so-and-so a day for thrash for me, sort of thing. And if you couldn't get enough that way, you had to, farmers would change hands, what you call, you know. You'd go over and say, earn May, and he'd send somebody back from his place, and then when he thrashed, you'd go over there and next to that, see.
And these slingers, well, why do they call it slingers?
Well, because I suppose, really the answer I suppose is that they just went around from farm to farm, and they could also, if there's a busy season, you see, they'd go in a hoe mangles or help with the hay or all the turnips and things like that, and carry out the farmyard manure and skate it and that, yes. For the traction engine, you see, you had to get in 1/2 ton of steam coal, and then I had to go to the stream, well, we call it the river, bung up the river, and have about, well, I suppose to be 600 gallons of water for the traction, say, nowadays.
So
yeah,
what
yeah,
you
for the work, for the steam, say.
And this is that stream coming
down Porthmuir there.
Yeah.
When that's what we had to do. The boys would go down and bung up with tabs, see, make it pour, and then bucket the waters into the barrels, and then of course the fashion, the traction would draw it out of the barrels. But like I say, to take 600-700 gallon for the thrash, the day's ration, and half a ton of coal. It was, some old time, wasn't
it?
Yeah. We was allowed to stay home from school, wreck it out. That was lovely. Yeah. Oh, God damn it. When the balers come in, they come around with a baler with the thrashing set to begin with, and then once they had the tractors, it was easier because they could get different places with tractor because all the engine was so heavy, you see. Farming's not the same today. Very few farms that do like we used to do. We had our own cows and bull, and then we had dozens of cows and our own boar, and you wouldn't restrict it in those days like you are now. I think you got so much old paperwork they can't get to do what they want to do, you see.
And if you wanted to kill a pig, you just kill a pig.
Well, that's right, yeah, that's just it. It's good old days, really.
Yeah.
When you talk about it, you can see yourself doing these things, really, Whereas if you hadn't gotten out and haven't thought of it for years, not until the other day anyway, you don't think of it, and then somebody bring it up, and then you can go back over and think how foolish you was.
Get out of it.
And Gweris Tyskennow Ray the Struest Pub Remnant Organic. Betiggins, me white oak with Orion, the dena orthuqui, balls and forfo, ma, Tilario in Cluva and Hendus, Pennsylvanian Vur, a Rolorion, Evagardas and Vroman, Landu Termin here. A lemon Hebhano.
How will he find me on this white shore? Or will he wander forevermore?
Daggenes.
Evo ha.
Mes to you, Greg!
Nan Eve.
To you?
John. Lindsay Fade, Alfred.
To your faith. And Dithio Koth, and Eglos, Alice Bowles, Kel Anchor, Rib Gover. Gans Cleckbian, Athvenin Cameras of Ez.
Cameras of Ez?
I love Ophelia, 14,000 brothers, could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum. What will you do for her?
Pithofi.
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
For love of God!
Scoos and scourges duos, liver. Bludgeon waskers, hag and keris, pithu and gochineth ma.
Wouldst thou fight?
Nis
Wouldst thou
duo
fast?
on destruians,
Wouldst
cooler
thou
and the
tear
wetter
thyself?
trope.
Wouldst thou drink
You
up
pithofi
hazel?
and gochineth
He's a
ma.
crocodile!
Then Kernewek up never out whisker cup or high fillers. Hey! Of a hoonros dame bala or me Willis and Hindus agan bro. And Greens Moya Agafar and Kevis. And Ninzasano Vithan at the Perdis and Cove. A Puana near Ralaber Wars and Rico Rosa Bag. Against Willem.
John?
Dag.
Rag Evelina who
Do you war na reta iguelas orta?
ní ilta level ar henna kint an ní gwisas aves.
Mi il, rag di reason da. You prisonas omar rag the vunans, ahi, you marrow.
John? John?
If there's a way that can merit a vase. Evelina! Evelina! Evelina!
Well, Mrs. Hodges, you're the president of this Cardiff Cornish Association. This is your badge of office
Yes,
here, is
it
it?
is. Yes, it is.
How many members have you in Cardiff?
Well, we have about 100 members. We have a monthly meeting, and we get probably about 40 members coming along, you know, and we try and give them a little bit of Cornish life in Cardiff if we can.
Hmm. Do you have any garden parties, Mr. Harvey Harris? Do you have any social occasions?
Oh, we do. We have a garden party next Saturday.
What's going to happen there?
We're hoping to do the floral dance,
Yes,
aren't
we
we?
do the floral dance, but apart from that, everything we do is in the Cornish way.
Do you have any Cornish food?
We do. We have Cornish pasties, Cornish cream, cake, hog's pudding, the whole sub-cheese.
Thunder and lightning.
Yes.
I didn't, as a Devonian, I must admit, I didn't realise Cornish people felt so strongly about this. How old were you when you left Cornwall, Mrs. Hodges?
I think it was 7 or 8. And I came up here because my father was at sea, and it was easier coming here. He was coming into the Bristol Channel, and so we moved to Cardiff. We go back, you know, periodically, but we still love Cornwall. It's the draw, I suppose, isn't it, of one's homeland?
Did many Cornish people come over in those days?
Oh, yes, quite a lot. In West Wales. You see, in West Wales, the coal is harder than it is in South Wales. It's what they call hard headings. And the Cornishmen came because they were miners, used to hard headings with a tin and copper, and came to Swansea Valley,
Yes.
the Anthracite district.
So a lot of the people we think of as Welshmen in the Swansea area are perhaps Cornish people.
Yes, oh yes.
What are the links between Wales and Cornwall? Are there language links, for instance?
Oh, yes. Well, really, until a few years ago, I didn't take a great deal of interest. I just loved Cornwall because I was Cornish. But we started fairly recently doing language courses down here, and I started looking into the language. I don't know much about it now. We do it on very, very easy lines, you know, pen of my aunt, that sort of thing.
Yes. You're taking Cornish language
We're taking Cornish,
in here in
the
Cardiff?
the old Cornish language. And it's quite surprising. You start looking into the Welsh language, Breton. I don't really know any Breton, but you read the odd words. And the Cornish words are very, very similar.
Have you any examples?
Yes, I have. I've brought my bit of paper with me in case I can't pronounce the Welsh ones. But, for instance, we've got the tree pollen pen from Cornwall. Now, tree is homestead. Now, in Welsh, that's ty, which is tea. Poll is pool. In Wales, we have pull.
Yes.
And pen is headland. Pen is the same in Welsh. Exactly the same words. Bread is another one. Barra, which is exactly the same in
Yes,
Welsh.
I see that. Of course, you have a Cornish Gorsedd as well as a Welsh. Do you ever go to the Welsh Gorsedd?
Do I? Yes, oh yes. In fact, I have the honour of being a member of the Welsh Gorsedd.
You are a Welsh bard?
Yes.
How did a Cornishman come to be appointed to that?
Well, many years ago, they invited me to become a member for the amount of work that I did in connection with the Eisteddfod.
This was in connection with your job as a
Photography,
newspaper
yes.
photographer, so you are a Welsh bard.
Yes.
Well,
Now, my bardic title is Tyskennow Kernow, translated into English, Artist of Cornwall.
thank you very much.
Thank you. May I say it in Cornish? May I finish by saying, Gon maras we, which means our thanks we give to you.
I can't work like this. I'm an artiste. This is my trade. How am I expected to produce results under conditions like this? You're on your own, Scotty. Find yourself another schmuck to KP.
Ash, please, I need you. I can't do this on my own. Don't leave me.
Fiddlesticks.
how long on table 18, Scotty?
At least 20 minutes.
If you went any slower, our customers could die of malnutrition.
Val, please, I can't go any faster. Asher's...
Scotty! You know who's at table 18. You know what this means to me. You've got 10 minutes, and I don't want to hear any more of your pathetic excuses. You fat, greasy worm.
I'm sorry, Gordon. I failed you.
Scotty Rhodes, na barth on ethosavi omma, de brovia dis gevambos. Scotty hebask, putra judalawa haga thesovi gonestogi. Gast, drog you can have me ankevist. Ethezosta indan godros, hagima edom disaweres. Otavi, saven ban marpleg, ni venav da shindia sos.
Why'd you speak like that?
Ith ove arluth and re maro. Itho yeth mates en maro you oyeth. Latinek, Kernewek tiagonve. Kernewek Uanguela Genevi. Itho, Mr. Rhodes, del hevel ti reum geves in olros. Well, right pris munis ath enev, mia alsa gultho humroso guir. Dreams. Mia alsa thalwul uskis, Scotty. Mia alsa thalwul crave, golusek. Geriesta.
Famous.
Geries da renifan. Mia alsa thalwul brasa ages Christ. Well, poegas.
I can't. It's Valerie. She'd kill me.
Mie ra hi hemeres de ves. Ragos kifres.
Where the hell is table 18? Is it possible you could cook any slower tonight, you cretinous bloody ape?
As osta tan weithin an en zosta.
I'm sorry, what?
Taiutha weles arules aluthes vichen.
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, you think it's funny? Oh, you're having a good laugh. Is it somehow amusing that my moron of a husband can't get his orders out on time? Now you listen to me, you big crimson twat. A high-profile daytime TV presenter who just so happens to be my favourite is sitting at table 18 and expecting the best damn meal of his life. Now how's he going to get that when you're in here distracting my husband?
Awodesta piu esosto kausolgans satnas ovi. Arluth adalda, mester a devil, ithoi...
Scotty, wipe that gormless bloody look off your face and do the sodding orders! And you, grab a dishcloth and start scrubbing. Or fuck off. Now, and only when you're ready, Table 18 would like to eat tonight, if possible.
Pithesostokyo. I can't do this. I can't take it anymore. Not even you can save me from her.
Areta hi gasa the galso genen in parna? Gasna. Means ovi feteswath. Etho. Grenni, kegi and gwella booze blesses bithquith.
Yes.
Hatiarar diski sevel hirfin gans o gueres.
Yes.
Brinti. Etho greni dalatho beri. Gans nebes gorhem ino. Dusen Raxcott. Raise you this Bos Uskis. Raise you this Ibanez. Raise you this Omla Rakto. Dusen Raxcott. Dilesh and Gona.
Don't you boss me around, you bloody woman.
Yakra Margeles Bel Brillion Kidia. Brillion.
Don't you mess with me, you smelly idiot.
Hom you and forth o sos gra o crena bistem jugon a tingla. Tira evoluches gwyn ha kauka kilamo. Dus en rag Scott. Delish and Gunner!
Now you listen to me, Val. It's about time my skills are appreciated round here. You harridan, you heartless sow, you festering harpy, you nasty, ugly, evil, dirty bitch! Brinteen!
All this time, and you've done one order. He's sitting out there now on table 18. He's even better in the flesh. So these had better taste as good as they look. Well, come on! There's more orders to get through!
Christ, Puuzi Gendiena, and pub?
No, bigger than that. Philip Schofield.
Pith? You henna all?
Shh, she'll hear you. It's been like this ever since he left the broom cupboard and did Joseph. She is obsessed. It's like her whole life has been leading up to this point.
Pragna Rooster Lavedokins. God,
Well, Mr. Schofield took one look at these abominations and changed his mind. He'll have ham, egg and chips on the double, Scotty.
No. I said, no. I'm an artist, Val. And I will not stand out here and cook bad food. No way. That is the final straw. And if that washed up hack wants chips, he can go to a greasy spoon. Things are going to change around here from now on. You bitch.
How dare you talk to me like that?
Valerie. Ima nebonon omotha weles.
Philip? Oh, what? That's not Philip Schofield. Doesn't even look like him.
Oh, he's in disguise. So he doesn't get hassled by his fans, you prick.
In Guirval. Imeef omo thuth cameres aves. Preder drododo. Bunan Gans and Corgman.
Hey!
Oh, Bunan's Gans and Jinrith blow a Kansma.
Yes, that's right, Valerie. Philip's here to take you away.
Take me, Phil. Take me away.
Brenton.
Na borth marth Scotty, Evangevas Kendon Thimily. Pua brederita aru kavos and soothna gans and mittenma.
You did it. She's gone.
Henu and Eleth. Hepkin.
Let's do this. Embarrassment. Aren't you? Call yourself a pastry chef? You like a lump of pastry? You're pathetic! Go home and do your knitting! Get back in your kitchen! Or at least get out of mine, you You shouldn't be in the kitchen looking like that! This is all you're fit for! Go on, do the washing up! Do you understand the meaning of the word marinade? A bit of seasoning, do you understand? Makes the food taste. Look, this is what I'm talking about! Hey! Now off! That's all you're for, the washing up. Call yourself a chef? Don't wear this when you're washing up! Lanky streak of off! You come back to this kitchen tomorrow, I want you to be presentable!